which are the skills that a good teacher needs today?
I think, do you want me to be more specific? That's what I was trying to do before. I enumerated 5 areas that I thought they needed. And what happens is we're moving to a competency-based approach to education, in which what we do is we express outcomes. And we call them all kinds of things, but competencies is one of the things we can call them. And I know in this area what we've seen is the new schools, 21st century here, which outlines an approach that could be taken. It's actually one of the reasons I came to visit, which is once I read about it, I was terribly enthusiastic and I wanted to see it. I think that's the kind of program that students need and teachers need to be prepared to teach.
How students learn today?
It's largely rote, which is there's a lot of memorization.
Is that bad?
Yeah, because we're living in a world that's changing so very, very quickly. We're going through a time in which we haven't seen change this profound, this prolonged, or this deep since the Industrial Revolution. It's never ending. So that to be given a fixed body of knowledge, just fixed, without the skills needed to advance it, without the ability to think critically, without the ability to be creative, without the ability to use knowledge, without the ability to communicate, without the ability to cooperate with other people. We put our students at a grave disadvantage and make their lives more difficult to get jobs in the 21st century.
How to teach a student to think critically?
You know, that's really a matter of experience. And it's something that starts from the time children are in primary school. And I remember soon after the wall fell, after the Velvet Revolution in Czechoslovakia, I was invited to Prague. And they were changing all of their programs at Charles University, which is their most selective university. And I was invited, for reasons that still escape me, to help them replan their journalism school, since the most I've ever contributed in that area is reading a newspaper. So that the problem was they couldn't do investigative journalism. There were no books written in their language. Their professors were products of the old system and didn't ask hard questions. If we want our students to be creative, if we want them to be critical thinkers, we have to start asking them questions early on and help them figure out how to solve problems. And the problems get more complex and they become more challenging as people get older. But critical thinking is a muscle.
It's
a muscle. An intellectual muscle. We need to develop it and continue to develop it if we expect people to use it. And also in a time in which there's talk of fake news and everything is being questioned, every institution is being questioned, critical thinking is more important than ever.
Yeah. So mostly is to ask questions to students.
That's a large part. And teach them the methodology of problem solving.
Today's teachers need to know, you said that today's teachers need to know and be able to do things their predecessors did not. Specifically, like what?
And one simple example is technology. That's been moving so very, very quickly. And you know, my grandmother was born before the airplane was created, and my children were born after people landed on the moon. That's pretty quick. We're watching even faster changes occur now. And the whole world is open to all of our students in every classroom through the internet and mobile devices. What's also true is Catalonia is becoming much more diverse than it was before. You're seeing populations from across Europe and around the world come to this region. So it's critical that students learn how to deal with, in a culturally sensitive manner, with different kinds of populations they've ever met before.
Mm-hmm. So that's very important. How to address needs of students from diverse cultural backgrounds in the same classroom?
Do you know, that's an issue that people have been dealing with for a very, very long time. I think one of the things we're going to see in the years to come is that education will become more individualized.
Not in the classroom?
In the classroom.
But individualized?
Yeah, individualized. That means a teacher can work with each student separately.
How?
And, what would happen is, I watched a classroom like that in mathematics, in algebra.
Uh-huh.
And what happened was, they all had the same goals, the same outcomes, but you know, we all learn at different rates.
Mm-hmm.
We all run into different problems. So there was the teacher there, and the teacher ended up giving different kinds of assignments to students, depending upon what they needed. And in the future, and I know this is a terrible thing to say, we're going to have algorithms that help also. And just to explain, the way we do testing now doesn't make any sense. We only test people after they've finished the work. Mm-hmm. And if you can imagine if your GPS in your car worked that way, and it only gave you readings every hour. So when you started, you were 3 miles away from your destination. And an hour later, you're 43 miles away from your destination, and it tells you and says, recalculating. When you need the help is when you're off base. As soon as you make the wrong turn, the GPS tells you. We need to do that for kids as well.